So, um, welcome to the Pat Rothfuss quarter hour comedy hour, which is to say, this is I will talk for an hour, but it's only funny for 15 minutes out of that. Um, 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 and you got to listen to me type. That's good content. Um, I had my shit together enough to put out a tweet before I streamed. I'm very proud of that. Although I know you love watching me spend 10 minutes writing a tweet. Um, oh wait, I even look at this. I even sort of I teed up a tweet. I think last time I streamed, I wrote a tweet and then did everything except hit send. So, and that happens frequently. Like I spend so much time, I put in the link and I put in a picture and I do all of that. And, and I lost my window here. There's that window. And then here's my chat window. I write up a tweet and then it sits there because I did everything except hit send. Um, yes, I mean it is. I mean it's fair. Um, there's a lot of questions here about which 15 minutes are funny. And so the funny idea, of course, is to say that you know like at a certain like every every 3 minutes go by and then like switch flips and then I'm funny for a minute and then it turns off again. um the realistic thing would be like it's sort of like a handful of delicious tangerines in a packing crate full of sawdust. There's an analogy for you. Or um but most realistically, it's probably that the 15 minutes that are funny for you are probably the 15 minutes that are funny for you are probably different than the 15 minutes that are funny for other people. Um, um, how influential was King Crimson's "I Talk to the Wind" to Name of the Wind? You're the first person to ever get the connection. Um, the entire book is based on that song. Is King Crimson a band? That song, it's sort of like, how if you watch The Wizard of Oz and you play Dark Side of the Moon, it matches up perfectly. It's the same thing with King Crimson's I Talk to the Wind. If you read Name of the Wind while listening to I Talk to the Wind, it matches up perfectly. You have to read it really fast, though. Like, really fast. Yeah. Um, hey, Nate. Hey, Bebo. Hey, everybody. Hey, Julia's here. Yeah, the Dusty Tangerines. Dusty Tangerines sounds like the least popular cowboy ever. Um, um, Actually, I do know King Crimson. King Crimson is some back in the shit, or back in the day shit. I remember King Crimson from when I was back in the shit. Um, um, uh, Although I would be hard pressed to name. See, I'm thinking of King Missile. Um, which boy, anybody in the chat remember the band King Missile? Do they still exist? I think they did Jesus Was Way Cool. Ugh, boy. Um Um, Dusty Tangerines wouldn't be a bad band name either. What's your opinion on Swordnoff? Sorry, it's not. It's the lowest. One of the lowest forms of humor is making fun of somebody's typo in chat. That's lame. Um, what's your opinion on the Sword of Truth series? Would you recommend it to a casual fantasy reader? I mean, honestly, I think the first book of Sword of Truth um, uh, is is quite excellent, even for a casual fantasy reader. That's as a broad statement. The I don't know if of anyone who has continued to read the series and continued to love it. I mean, and sometimes, there's a lot of people it's like, "Oh, I really liked Buffy up to season 5 or something," or it's like, "Oh, I liked all of Buffy except for season 5," or, "Oh, you know, Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time, like I loved it up till book 7 and then I just lost patience." But there's a lot of people who did read the whole thing and love the whole thing. I literally don't know a single human who liked all of um, the Sword of Truth. Um, um, yeah, King Missile also did Detachable Penis. I forgot about that. Um, I've joked about doing a King Killer action figure for ages. You're trying to contact me for days and you need a favor? Well, sign me up, random person from the internet. That's what I live for. Um, I don't know if that's a joke or not. Um, trying to is that a joke? Oh boy, now I'm worried it's not a joke. In this, uh, and now I'm sad. And now I'm sad. I'm sad for me, and I'm sad for you. If you do not realize how the internet works and how busy I am. Uh, yeah, Sort of Truth gets very, yeah, yep. And there's some, there's even some stuff in that first book. I remember the first time I read it, I loved it. Um, um, and I remember the second time I read it, I was really bothered by the fact that every character with a name shows up. Sorry, spoiler alert. Skip ahead just 20 seconds here. What bothers me is that every character with a name shows up in the final battle to defeat the ultimate evil, and that it's a series where every book they defeat the ultimate evil, and then they're like, "But wait, there's an ultimate evil," and I'm like, "Ugh." Um, the most poorly written novel I would still recommend reading. I don't recommend novels that I don't like. I will sometimes recommend novels that I I feel are flawed or problematic, but not straight up like poorly written. Like a lot of times I'm like, "Oh, this is a great book so long as you can tolerate, you know, some you know, like Dragon Riders of Pern was so good, but it is very rapey. And in the context of when it was written, it wasn't, because a lot of fantasy novels were like that. But these days, I'm like, oh, God, I don't think my kids can read this. Um, Jules the Swan says, I'm stuck in bed with a sore back and new med fatigue, and I'm happy to spend my downtime with y'all. Thank you for showing up, Jules. Um, 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 I haven't been doing any D&D stuff lately. I would usually do that at cons. Well, I mean, it depends on what you mean by D&D stuff. Like, do you mean role playing or specifically playing D&D? Oh, Jesus. Thomas Covenant in this. See, right? Like, Thomas Covenant. The fact I mean, I don't like, would Thomas Covenant be published now? Like, how the fuck did that, how did, how did an editor read that and say, cool, you're in a fantasy world. How about we have some straight up, um, Thomas Covenant was great. That is a belief that you can have. There were parts of Thomas Covenant that were interesting, and parts of it were well written, but hoof a doof. Um, um, am I looking forward to the new Amazon Lord of the Rings series? No. I would go so far as to say I'm specifically not looking forward to it. I would go so far as to say that I'm angry that it's even being done. Um, my 5-year-old Athena says, "Hi, Uncle Pat." Oh no, Jules. I hope you've seen this stream before, and you know the way I sort of talk. Um, uh, you're trying to subscribe. Well, it won't let me. There's no subscriptions here. Thanks for being interested in subscribing, but nah, I'm not a professional streamer. I mean, I might do it in the future. Instead, I prefer to just hang out here. Feel free to follow the channel. Feel free to turn your notifications on so you get a heads up when I do a thing. But you subscribing here, I feel weird sort of charging people money to show up and hear me chat. What happens is occasionally, if you like to come over here, hang out, watch me play games, that's great. And then if you feel like you want to thank me for that, then, we'll do a Kickstarter at some point. And then you can throw some money in the Kickstarter, or we'll do a charity and you can put money in the charity. Um, professional dreamer, not a professional streamer. Yeah, there we go. Um, how are things going with COVID? That's a question. Would you explain why you were angry about the Lord of the Rings series? I'm like, I just don't know why. Why are we doing another Lord of the Rings series? I love the Lord of the Rings too, sure. But I feel about the new Lord of the Rings series the way that I feel about James Patterson books. They are um, the Lord of the Rings Amazon series is not something that is being done to add anything to the world. It is like a direct mathematical expression of market forces. Um, and it's breathing up a lot of air in the room for the amount of money that is being put into the new Lord of the Rings. So that then you get to see another Lord of the Rings. There could be so many cooler, little interesting projects done. Um, that you know, like original work being like, if all we do is constantly remake shit, then you don't get things like Steven Universe. Um, or somebody's like, such as your books. Nah. Um, I mean, I am excited to see an adaptation of Sandman because Neil's at the helm of that. Um, um, and I know Neil's been struggling with that for a mortal age. Um, um, see, cool dog pics. You just made me happy because you said Name of the Wind Muppet Show. Like, and the first thing I thought of was, you know how like they did Muppet the Muppets do Christmas Carol or the Muppets do Treasure Island, and I'm like, wouldn't it be great if the Muppets did Name of the Wind? That would be Scooter would be Quoth. You know, also no, because okay, nope, nope, nope. We're gonna stop. We'll do that some other time. Um, um, sorry. Oh God, it's hard not to think. But then what I thought was better, it wouldn't be the Muppets do Name of the Wind. What I would want, oh my God. Oh my God, you know what I want to do? The original Muppet Show, where the Muppets started, it was a take on the old variety show that they used to do. It was sort of a take on vaudeville, you know, where people would show up and you would have a variety show. And again, like the concept of a variety show, like these days, nobody has seen a variety show. They've only seen like spoofs of variety shows. Because like what, like in some ways, like the modern talk show is a version, because like sometimes you'll have a comedian and then there's a musical guest. But like a real variety show used to be, you'd see a couple of different performers doing a couple of different things. I'm realizing now a variety show is probably a, like came out of the carnival tradition of like, you know, you see a bunch of little acts all together. But anyway, what I would love, fuck, I actually could probably get in touch with the Henson company. There's, you know, they don't need to partner up with me. But how bizarre and beautiful would it be to talk to the Henson people and say, how would you like to do a tiny mini series? And it's not a take on this old dead art form of the variety show. It's the old tradition of traveling performers. And so it's the Muppet Show, but they're troopers, they're traveling performers. They're the A Demaroo, and they're traveling through the world. Oh, isn't that a beautiful, weird thought? Um, the Muppet Show on the road. Isn't that a wild, weird thought? And the thing is, of course, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't make sense. I mean, there's the reason things like Muppet Christmas Carol work is that people love the Muppets, and Christmas Carol has permeated the cultural consciousness. Also, obviously, Christmas Carol is public domain, so they can just do whatever the hell they want. And so they are sort of performing it, but also it's sort of like it's almost like a satire of a Christmas Carol, because, you know, but you can't satirize something that isn't sufficiently embedded in the cultural consciousness. That's why the original Tick TV shows didn't work, because you can't satirize the genre of superhero before superhero genre has saturated the culture. And the original live action TV show came out um, in 2001. And that was before like every blockbuster movie was a superhero movie. So um, no, no, no. See, you're trying to cast name name of the Wind Muppets, and that's not what I'm talking about. Um, it would be the troupe of Muppets in a wagon going from town to town performing. They would have multiple wagons. Dr. Teeth and the Medicine Show would be a no, it wouldn't be part of the regular troupe. It would be a different troupe that they would meet, and then they would probably be competing. See, it's this thing writes itself. Whereas the Muppet Show troupe shows up, and then they compete with Dr. Teeth and the Medicine Show, because they're both trying to perform in the same place. So they kind of set up a battle of the bands, except it's that would have to be like episode 4. So you've already seen their regular shtick, and then the Muppet Show is forced to adapt and start a band just to compete with them for this venue. Um, oh no. Oh no, no. And then you bring up Lynn. Oh, well, I mean, of course there's live action guests. And that's what would make this show work is, you know, you'd travel around and every week they would put on a show in a different little town with different troopers that they had found along the way. Except instead of being like modern pop stars, who are expensive and, you know, it wouldn't, it would be like people who do really cool shit with like music, and performance and like old arcane beautiful like instrumental things or you know like more classic performance things. um 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 it's like Scooby-Doo movies with America's Got Talent. um um Yeah, but I mean, what would be brilliant, of course, is you get Lynn in there as a producer because he knows a bunch of brilliant musical talent in New York that tends to be exclusive to Broadway. Um, and so we bring in those people who are really well known within their own circle, but like unless you live in New York, you don't get to go to Broadway shows or even off Broadway or off Broadway. So those people would come in and do their weird, beautiful shit. Um, also, Lynn would be cast as Baron Greyfellow. There you go. There's Lynn's casting. He's Baron Greyfellow. He's the patron of the troupe, and sometimes he would just show up and I don't know, give them a mission, sort of like Charlie's Angels, sort of like the Muppet Show, sort of like Prairie Home Companion. Um, um, Also, occasionally they will solve a mystery. Yeah, yeah, I like this. So here you go. Clip that, print it, and we'll, um, you know, and then we already have all those Henson things. So like, if to keep it from just being a series, like there'll be one episode where they're like, oh, we're trying to get here, but oh, the woods are dark, and then it's like Skeksis, like because they already have those are assets that already exist, and then you have like a Skeksis fight. I'm thinking, or maybe no, you're scared, but then you realize that the Skeksis they aren't bad. and then they get incorporated into the troupe, and then they still do a performance, except the Skeksis turns out that they're really great at beatboxing. I mean, beatboxing and tap dancing. Why? Hold on. Can you do tap dancing and beatboxing at the same time? Lin-Manuel rapping with the Skeksis is now part of my bucket list. Yeah, I don't think you could maintain like the diaphragm control required to beatbox and to do tap dancing. I would be, I think physically, yeah, no, I don't think that can be done. Okay. Yeah, Skoys, if you can ask, I would like a report back from you on this question. Would you ever do a stream that is just you telling an in-world King Killer story? Oh. And if so, I mean, I've occasionally read parts of my stuff. But never like an original King Killer story here that I just made up on the spot. No. I mean, yeah, cross-reference with your sister. Get the two of those experts together and then see if they can form some sort of tap dancing, beatboxing Voltron. Okay. And I think Aaron is available now. So let's see if I can patch him in smoothly. First, let me see. First, I'm going to copy that, and we're going to open that. Do this here. Then this here. And then there. And then there. Does that work? Oh, we can see him. And there's that. There's that. There's that. So, now, Aaron, it's been an extra week here, so I'm a little.
I forget how to do this.
Whoa! Can everyone else hear him coming in multiple? I think you have to mute yourself on your Zoom.
Muted.
Okay.
I really forget how to do this, I'll be honest.
Well, I mean,
also, how great would it be if I came on as a Muppet?
I mean, that would have been very impressive. Also, of all the people, I would not be terribly surprised if you had in your house a custom made Muppet that already looked like you, just from some previous shenanigan.
I don't have that, but I have something tangential.
Okay.
Again, not a Muppet, but I do have this awesome companion cube.
Oh, crocheted.
I know, isn't it nice? I got this at C2E2 years ago, and I've just loved it.
That is nice.
It's Muppet-like.
It is in the realm of Muppet. So, everybody, if you're tuning in for the first time, and it is always weird and wild to realize that there are people showing up for the first time here. And Um,
Oh, you got a dab.
no, I still have that in there. Oh, wait. Okay. Yep.
Oh, all
See,
right, Mass.
I don't, you haven't been on. We changed that. So,
Hold
so
on.
there've been dab wars in the past where, some people really want me to dab, some people really don't. And so it goes back and forth. Oh, there we go.
There's Cappy.
There's Cappy. Praise Cappy,
Praise
everybody.
Cappy.
Praise Cappy. Hold on. Do I have Cappy in here? Oh no, that's not Cappy. That's Nightcake, my
That's very
superhero
different.
identity. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. Okay, dab is okay. So we're at 0 dabs, right there. We've
Which is
canceled.
an appropriate amount of dabs.
It is. We've canceled out. Also, how the shit did I end up with Nightcake here instead of Cappy?
Oh no, is this in the lore? Like, did Nightcake fight Cappy, and is Cappy incapacitated? Is he incapappy?
Okay, I'm gonna let you.
Is he gone?
Let's do take 2 of that. I'm gonna give you
Okay.
a do-over.
Okay. Do you have any other notes?
Better.
Okay. Louder, faster, funnier. Go. Oh no! Did Nightcake incapitated our Lord and Savior?
That's closer. I think just incapitate. Pappy.
No.
Yeah, you're right.
When Cappy defeats Nightcake, does he get decapitated?
Yeah, I think you could still go with decapitated.
Decapitated.
Yeah.
His Cappy was de-ated.
Yeah.
That's weird. All right, next bit.
We're weird, and this is weird. Also, I'm looking. Where the hell? See, I made a mistake. I tried to organize my desktop, and what happened was, there we go. How about this? There, praise Cappy.
Praise Cappy. Oh my goodness. When did this happen?
Well, no, I mean,
So good.
this is,
Yeah.
I mean, Cappy is all things to all people, as we, and technically, I mean, cat ears are not a cap or a hat,
No.
but, and neither is a hood a hat, and I will stand by that. I'll die on that hill. But both together, I think, fulfill the brand identity that is Cappy. Also, I gotta get some of that sweet K-pop traction. Touching on this Cappy stuff.
You've been saying that for years.
Yeah.
Literally years, that you want to be more involved with the K-pop crowd.
Yeah.
And I can't blame you. There's a lot of lettuce in the K-pop crowd.
Plus, it's all just part of my master plan to meet up with,
Gokt?
no, what's the band? They're the Chandrian of K-pop. There's 7 of them.
The Bangtan Boys.
Nope. It's oh yeah,
I'm just gonna let
it's BTS. It's BTS,
Yes.
which is
the
weird.
Bangtan Boys.
No, the ones I'm thinking of, they're all like hot, sort of androgynous, like girls. Is the one I'm thinking of? It's BTS.
This is a tired bit, Bat. Also, go to Wikipedia. The very first line, BTS, also known as the Bangtan Boys, is a 7-member South Korean boy band that began forming in 2010 and debuted in 2013 under Big Hit Entertainment.
I mean, they might have started as that, but now they're all like these real. I mean, I shouldn't say this because like they're obviously all too young for me to be finding attractive, but like these are some attractive and admittedly genderqueer, performers, which I'm into, and everyone should find their own way, and I support all of that, but Also, we do need to have some sort of thing where we decide which member of BTS is which Chandrian.
Like the beatboxer, the one who's a little bit older,
The one with blue hair.
blue hair. You gotta have blue hair.
Well, actually, I think blue hair is one of BTS's signs. Okay,
Wait,
this is only funny.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is gonna only be funny for me. Only funny for me. Where and you know the other thing about BTS as a name, I keep wanting to call them like BTSM, which would be a different band that honestly I think I would like watching their videos even more.
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of pop groups that if they were more BDSM, I feel like they'd be more entertaining.
Can
Like Raffi.
can we not get, I mean, BTS is big enough that there has to be bands, like you have just, there are bands that perform shows and they're just like Aerosmith cover bands. BTS is so big, there has to be a bunch of people that just are BTS cover bands, right? There has to, and there has to be one of them that styles themselves as BTSM, and they do all the songs, and they do the choreography, except also it is very sexy, and there's a bondage theme.
Yeah, I think that definitely does exist. The thing that I'm interested in is BTSZ, which is the Dragon Ball Z BTS version, where everyone is dressed as Vegeta. And throughout the show, they're doing Super Saiyan Jin poses, and they're doing the fusion dance. Really fantastic show. I got to see Blackpink fuse with BTS, and then we got Blackpink TS.
I'm thinking, I mean, in this, the more I think of it, it has to already exist. I think I'm going to declare, what is it? Is it rule 34 that as soon as you like come up with the kink, it already exists on the internet?
Yeah. So you're familiar with the BTS for BTS, the bulletin board system. Sorry, the BBS for BTS.
Yeah, the BBS BTS. Yeah,
Yes.
but also
Sponsored by the BBC.
Yeah,
The BBS for BTS, sponsored by the BBC.
But I will say that I'm already imagining the video for Butter. It's just very good. And also now, what I did not like is the fact that they did a holographic sort of like simulation of Marlon Brando in that video, which felt very disrespectful, especially given that they did not, get permission from his estate.
Are you against all holograms?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Well,
I mean, it's the new racism, but it's safe.
To have a talk. I am a hologram.
No, we're not doing that. Yeah, we're not doing that. And you told me you had a game. Let's do the game.
I do have a game. Okay. All right. So Pat, we were, I watched a little bit of your prologue to the stream.
Okay.
We were talking about the Muppets, and by the way, the Muppets were, are burlesque, because burlesque was the original variety show, and it wasn't until burlesque performers became big in America that stripping became like the predominant form of burlesque here in America. But I digress.
No. Actually, authorized. I need to know. Because I was assuming the variety show came out of like a different, like a vaudeville tradition or like a traveling show tradition.
Sure. So I think and I'm going back to my college teachings, my days here. Burlesque, vaudeville. So a variety show is essentially what we now know vaudeville to be, right? Like vaudeville used to be song and dance. It used to be, juggling. Burlesque is kind of similar, derived from the Italian word burlesco. Um, Going back to my Commedia dell'arte days, but
But
Victorian
hold on, you got
burlesque.
it. But what does it mean? What does burlesco mean? You can't give
I
me
don't fucking know.
don't give me half a sandwich, man. Well, no, half a sandwich is fine. Don't give me half a dog.
Burlesco meaning half a dog.
Exactly. Half a sandwich I can enjoy. Half a dog I cannot.
Burlesque derives from the Italian burlesco, which in turn is derived from the Italian burla, a joke, ridicule, or mockery. Oh wait. We've got Grumpy Frog, we've got Moana. Who's the third horseman of our apocalypse?
Yeah, sorry. I realized that I apparently moved an asset there, so maybe I was actually just taking it so we could both show up bigger.
This makes sense.
But let's go into a folder on my desktop that, let me see, therapy, recording,
Assassination,
Twitter pics. That's, no.
spicy.
Social media pictures. Let's do that. Sure. How about this?
Wait. Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
No, that's
yes,
so
yes,
frantic.
yes.
It's just going to give me a seizure. I'm sorry. Got to change that.
Who's your favorite Sailor Scout?
I
like Jupiter.
I never watched it. Sorry.
That's fine.
Okay, here we go.
Oh man, there was a time in high school where I was like, should I go as Tuxedo Rose to prom?
Wow. Here we go.
What the hell is that? What are we doing?
this is I mean, I'm getting our graphics set up here. Here we go.
Sorry, I'm just alerting the Better Business Bureau right now.
There we go. See, like what bothers me is this is the wrong size, you know?
Yeah, and I'm just gonna let all the jokes in my head sail over my head and fall over there.
I think I used this as my author photo at some point.
You talking about the frog?
All of these have been used as my author photos at various points. So
I forgot when we did the Brink Literacy Project. You just kept screaming, "I am Moana," and we were like, "This is just how he is on Thursdays."
Yeah. I do feel bad not being able to credit this artist who is probably looks like a little bit before pre-Raphaelite. But they're dead, so they can't do anything to me. Okay, so now you were talking about something. I got really distracted. It was some sort of Muppet.
Anyway,
yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, the burlesque history.
Victorian burlesque, there's American burlesque. And as I understand it, when Victorian burlesque, came over from England and Americans began doing more burlesque, it was your jugglers, it was your song and dance. There was maybe a stripper. And as time went on, the actual strip teases became more of a focus. So I think around I believe around 30s or 40s, I think that's when the strip teases actually began becoming the predominant art of the burlesque. So it is always funny, when because a friend of mine actually worked on Sesame Street. He's toured with Sesame Street. He loves the Muppets. He makes puppets all the time. One of the first conversations we had were the Muppets are burlesque. And I was like, explain to me. And we had this big, long conversation about that and got educated. So it's just always funny for me to think back in the 30s or 40s, you probably had a striptease artist, a juggler, and then Miss Piggy. It's it's a whiplash with your entertainment here.
That is neat. So does that mean that burlesque actually was what a variety show kind of needed to be created because burlesque evolved out of that entertainment niche?
I would not say that. As somebody that, I ran a successful variety show here in Chicago for 3 years. We saw that every single show. You're really kind of watching the ebb and flow of what people want. you're booking according to what the audience is desiring at that point. And a variety show is a variety show. It's basically vaudeville. It's this. It's kind of the same. It's the same word for the different. It's the same thing, just different words, right?
Okay.
But a lot of the times it's booking. It's who's available. What does the audience want? There was a run on comedians here. I think back in like 2016, 2017, where there's an amazing pub here, Alice's Pub, where people can get up and do stand up, and it seemed like every month, boom, 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 another amazing comic would just surface in Chicago, and everybody would run to book them. And then for a while it was improv troops, and you just kind of always gotta pivot. But anyway.
Well, no, that's cool. We like I said, 15 minutes of comedy. I would say maybe between 3 and 8 minutes of something informative. Probably about 20 minutes of things that make you uncomfortable or question some element of your personal ethic.
That's my bit that we're doing next.
Oh boy, no, I already did that with the whole BTSM thing.
Oh man.
Also, Julia Madalena, thank you for. Also, Julia, did you know? Did you look at this and be like, "Oh, I know that artist," or, because Julia's kind of classically trained in her art as well. So I knew this wasn't Raphaelite, but apparently he's one of the Dutch masters. Thank you for the link, Julia.
Now, here's my question. How does somebody have time to be an amazing painter and also team up with 3 of their brothers to fight crime against the Foot Clan? Buckle up. All right, Pat. We said no bits. We said, well, we didn't say no bits. We just said that they were gonna like decelerate.
Yep.
And this is not a bit.
Okay.
I qualified yesterday. I said, I don't have a bit. I have a fun game to play.
Okay.
And I said yesterday, my lighthouse for the week, the thing that was kind of guiding me towards the weekend, was the fact that James Gunn, gifted director, has a new movie coming out in the DC cinematic universe called The Suicide Squad.
Oh, that's right.
And so, I know that you like comic books. I know that I love comic books. And considering there's so many varying team members in the Suicide Squad, I thought that we should play a game, Suicide Squad or not, where I'm going to list out characters and you need to tell me if they were in the Suicide Squad or no.
Cool. And for clarity, and I don't think I've ever said this, but again, this shows that Aaron's instincts are good. I haven't seen the Suicide Squad movie,
which is probably for the better. The first one was
hot garbage, is what I heard, to the extent where I'm like, I heard they were making a second one, and I'm like, why? Like, why do 2 crimes in a row?
Because James Gunn was like, I will direct a movie for you if you give me these characters. And they were like, sure, you're good. We trust you. Here's the keys to the kingdom. Now,
is Gunn, did he did Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, and was it Slither? He did a bunch.
He did Slither? Kind of I fucking loved Slither.
Is it Chroma? Is that the movie studio I'm thinking of that does all the like schlocky B movie? Let's check. We all have the internet. James Gunn filmography.
You said Chroma. Do you mean Trauma?
Trauma. Yeah.
James Gunn was not Trauma.
Like.
Oh, okay, yeah. Slither honestly was great. Because like I watched that because Firefly had been canceled.
Oh, and you wanted more Nathan Fillion?
Yeah, I always want more Nathan Fillion. Okay, so hit me. God, Slither. Okay. That shows how somebody can rise in the world.
Wait. Gunn began his career in filmmaking with Trauma Entertainment in '95.
Dang. Congratulations.
I mean, yeah. All right, so I'm going to give you a name, and you just need to tell me if they're in the Suicide Squad or not.
Okay, I'm gonna close my chat. I'm gonna close my chat window so everybody can do their own guesses in there without the worry of corrupting me. And now also Suicide Squad must be DC. I will also say DC
Yeah.
is not my realm so much. I am more of a Marvel person. I love me some Batman.
Okay.
But with the exception of Batman, I am mostly like indie or fringe or I've just gravitated more towards Marvel. So this is again a great game where I really have to intuit this.
Okay.
Okay, hit me.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that like you'll get some of these through osmosis of the pop culture. But
Right.
let's start with a simple one. Batman.
Okay, thank you for the easy one. That is no. Hold on, wait. Is this a trick? Is this just a character, or am I being tested on?
This is Bruce Wayne as Batman, the person that you love.
Right, but also, is this a test to see like who is in the Suicide Squad
This is a baseline to see where you're at.
in
So
terms of?
if
But also, I now realize I don't know.
oh no, we're getting in the weeds.
I don't know what
is
this.
Batman a member of
I
the
don't.
Suicide
Yeah,
Squad?
like is. I don't know. I actually realized I don't know what the squad is. I assumed it was a bunch of baddies getting together.
All right. Okay, so the Suicide Squad is a
Spoiler alert.
Is Task Force X as assembled by Amanda Waller, who is kind of like a mean Nick Fury in it. Like if we're getting down to super basic details, and she takes villains who would be on death row or who would be rotting away in a prison and puts them on this task force and is like, do this or you're gonna die, basically.
Do they have like a cranial implant that blows up their heads or something?
Yeah, dude, battle royale style.
Fuck.
Yeah.
See now, and again, if I can guess that, you're a fucking lazy storyteller. Is my pronouncement. If I'm like, really, that's where you went. That's
We are evaluating the characters.
Okay,
that are
yeah,
part of
you're right.
Task
Okay.
Force X, and
Okay.
not the validity.
okay. So
All
now,
right,
so
Batman.
I will say
Is
Batman.
a member of the Suicide Squad.
I will say he is a DC superhero, but he is not a member of the Suicide Squad.
Well done. You got
Okay.
it. 1 point.
Yay, 1
1
point.
point. All right, moving on. Harleen Quinzel, aka Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Yeah, boom, you got it.
Okay.
You're 2 for 2.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for
number 3.
Thank you for ramping up slowly.
Yeah, there's some good ones in here. King Shark.
Oh God, this is way harder.
4.
Yes.
Okay.
It's-
Yeah, King
okay.
Shark rules. I love King Shark.
Okay.
Also, please, I just want to say, chat, no spoilers in the chat. Like, the movie is out. The movie is
Oh,
available.
yeah,
Please do not put any
100%.
spoilers. If you put spoilers in the chat, I swear, my dog, Chewy, will be so upset with you. Chewy will.
That is also one of the chat rules. So no spoilers about the movie, and it is a first time you get a timeout. Second time it's bannable, right? With no spoilers, that's just a dick move. Y'all know better. Let's be good people.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
All right, number 3, Slipknot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slipknot, the man who can climb anything.
Oh no, really?
It's very
Jesus
stupid.
Christ. Okay.
Bloodsport.
No.
Wrong. Bloodsport is a member of the Suicide Squad. All right.
What's his
next-
deal?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I looked at the cast list and I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Okay.
All right. Moving on. Super Meat Boy.
God damn it. Yes.
No.
God damn it. I thought like that's so obviously it seems like it can't be, therefore it must be. I'm second guessing myself now. I started out strong. Okay.
Super Meat Boy is a fantastic video game by the developers at Team Meat.
I actually heard it referenced. My boys and I watched Let's Game It Out, and in his archive, the Anthony and Josh constantly reference Super Meat Boy.
Little Mac.
Yes.
Wrong. Little Mac is the boxer from Nintendo's Punch-Out series.
I think it's not fair that you are pulling characters from the rest of the world, But actually, it is very fair because that means I can't just go on whether or not I've ever heard this name.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. Okay, are all of
right.
these are any of these names that you just made up? Or are they all names that exist in the world?
All of these are characters from popular IP.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
All right. What if I was like Obama? Technically a character in the Marvel Comics universe. So, Deadshot.
Now, hold on.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yes.
Correct. Deadshot. Deadshot is basically Bullseye from Marvel.
I was
but
just
he
gonna.
uses a gun.
I was gonna say that sounds like a ripoff of Bullseye, but normally Marvel always kind of like took from DC, but it seems like that was going the other way.
Well, Deadpool is actually a parody of Deathstroke, and Deadpool is way more popular now, I think, because Marvel got the joke. And Deathstroke now just fights the Teen Titans, which, good for him, but, yeah. Anyway, Killer Frost.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Killer Frost is cool and has been a part of the Suicide Squad a number of times. Next up, Boomer Kawanger.
No.
You are correct. Boomer Kawanger is a maverick robot boss in Mega Man X, but is not a member of the Suicide Squad. Next up, we're about halfway through my list.
Okay.
Tingle.
I'm gonna say yes. It's an aspirational yes because I want it to be true.
No, Tingle is from the Legend of Zelda series, specifically the Wind Waker.
Okay. I wanted Tingle to be a Dazzler ripoff.
I love Dazzler. And please do not make fun of Dazzler.
I wasn't making fun. I'm just saying I would love.
cannot be ripped off. Totally original idea.
Well, yeah, but what I'd like is if like somebody is like, okay, I want to get first off, anyone who set their sights so. Sorry, I don't want to start a fight here. Anyone who set their sights so low, it's like I'm going to rip off a superhero, Dazzler, and then missed it so much. It's because Tingle would be somebody. They would also really miss the point of Dazzler, and it's like Tingler is the person who goes to a rave, and is able to, like, I don't know, make everybody feel like they did MDMA. Is that a drug?
Which is MDMA,
MMA,
disco band. MMA is martial martial arts. The Octagon.
DTM, BSA, the Boy Scouts of America on drugs and bondage. Okay, moving on.
but also, Pat.
Okay.
Can we set a timer? Can I have 2 minutes?
About Dazzler?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Dazzler fucking rules, and here's why. Dazzler can take any audio and manifest it as a physical object and use it to bludgeon you. She could whisper, turn that into a knife, and then stab you. Why is it that we give Black Bolt, the head of the Inhumans, such a wide berth of power? He can whisper and dismantle a planet, but we will not give that to Dazzler, who is, on top of being just having an incredibly cool power set, a disco star. That's rad. Marvel, please give us this. You gave us one comic book over the past 3 years that focused on Dazzler, and I will write this for you. So please give me that opportunity. Anyway, moving on.
No. I need my 1 minute rebuttal recognized by the chair.
All right, yeah, try it.
I mean, what does Dazzler have that David Lynch's Paul Atreides doesn't?
Well, a better still suit for that, and the ability to breathe. I mean, come on. What do you want? I would like to see Paul Atreides sing a 3-minute pop song that could be populated on radio in mass rotation.
That's
do that?
fair.
Dazzler.
That's fair. Okay, yeah.
Anyway, moving on. For Suicide Squad member or no, Alphonse Elric.
No.
Correct. Alphonse Elric is the brother who lost his body from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And I guess also Full Metal Alchemist.
Wow. That's a... Yeah, okay.
Yep. Stiltman.
No.
Correct. Stiltman is a Marvel villain, primarily fighting Spider-Man. Ratcatcher 2.
No.
I apologize, Pat. Ratcatcher and Ratcatcher 2 were both members of the Suicide Squad. Hopefully Ratcatcher 2 does not die, because then we'll be moving on to Ratcatcher 3. Next up, Banjo-Kazooie.
No.
Correct. Banjo-Kazooie is the bear and bird from the rare game Banjo-Kazooie. Four more here.
Okay.
Polka Dot Man.
Jeez, like this feels like it should be easier, but like fucking DC has things like Calendar Man, the Question Man.
Calendar Man. Okay. Also, he's not Question Man. He's the Question.
Yeah, I know.
But I love Calendar Man. It's such a weird shtick. But I love Calendar Man. I love Kite Man. Oh.
See, like it's okay. But I'm gonna say no on Polka Dot Man.
Incorrect. Polka Dot Man is a member of the Suicide Squad, and this is his first appearance in a film.
Now, what is his deal though? I mean, like, at least Calendar Man, you can get an inkling there. Is this just a dude who found like a weird pair of pants, and then like life took him in a weird direction?
All right. So full disclosure, I'm not entirely sure. I read a book with him a while ago, but it's been a while. But he has like polka dots on his suit, and he can like throw the polka dots, and that allows him to go into like he like can make portals with the polka dots, from what I understand.
This is 100% a character that was created in the 60s as a one-off throwaway villain, and that they have kept.
We're gonna look at it.
I see there. I'd like a chance to steal to reclaim this point.
Okay. You know what? Yeah, go for it.
No, that's my pitch. Have you ever seen the show QI?
I don't know if I've ever seen it, but I think I've read about it.
It's amazing. It's a British game show, and it's sort of like half trivia, but it's not like trivia implies that something is trivial, but this is like, it's a game show where like, and Stephen Fry used to host it, and it would be funny, smart people. Like a lot of them were comedians, would be there. And I think it was like 2 teams, or maybe it was just 4 individual players.
Oh wait, I have. Is it still going on now?
I don't know about its current iteration. I think the one with Stephen Fry hosting stopped. But what I loved about it is it was like in the Peloponnesian War, and it's like, and then
I have seen this.
And all these people are like, oh, actually, that was it was a flamberge, it was the weapon used by them, and then somebody's like, oh no, I'm sorry, it's Volge, it's a Volge, and he goes, oh, you're right, except yeah, I thought flamberge because it was the pikemen who did this. And it was the etymology of that came from this. And then what happens is Stephen Fry will go to the judges and he's like, is that right? And then they'll be like, yeah, that's confirmed. We're going to give you, not the 10 points for the question, but we're going to give you 5 points for absolutely knowing something about this and not just taking a wild flyer on it.
Oh, I would be so, like, if you can get like style points in a quiz show, I would be so good at it.
But the thing is, also, and what I loved about QI is because you have comedians, and so people would ring in with the wrong joke or with the wrong answer as a joke because they're there to be funny. And honestly, it's not like anyone's walking away with prizes or anything. But what I loved is that every question, if you went for the cheap and easy joke, They had identified what it was, and if you made that joke, you would be penalized. And again, so this is it's like, come on, funny man, be funny. Nope, that's some basic shit. We're better than that here. It was such a good show.
Can we replicate this for end of year?
Absolutely, we should steal this shit.
All right,
Also,
I have a spreadsheet of ideas and I'm adding it.
Also, I would like, let's invite Stephen Fry to host for us.
Steve? Yeah, we'll get him.
Also, it looks like the old folks home here in chat says first appearance is Detective Comics in 1962. So it's like, I called that one in the air. I just want a style point for that. We'll keep that out of my rankings because I do want to know what my percentage is at the end.
Oh, good, because I have that.
No, I am sure that the chat is keeping track.
Also, just to clarify, Polka Dot Man, I was getting Polka Dot Man mixed up with the Spot, who's similar in a weird way. Polka Dot Man has a costume of polka dots that allow him to get things like, this is wild, I feel like I'm high. They can create deadly weapons and a bizarre escape vehicle. He can summon a flying buzzsaw dot, a flying saucer dot, a sun dot, a bubble dot. He's basically whatever the author wants him to be in that moment.
You know, I remember that hero. That was one of the few ones that they started up, and then they definitively killed off. Because, you know, in DC, like, Superman came back and effectively it ruined everything because now nobody ever dies for real forever. But this was back before that. It was in the 70s. He was killed in it was a power plant explosion. And that's actually where the phrase blown up my spot comes from, etymologically speaking.
Yeah, I believe you.
Next.
Captain Boomerang.
Yes.
Yeah, Captain Boomerang, fantastic character, played by Jai Courtney, who I've never seen be good in a piece of art.
Oh my God, Aaron, that is the that is the most scathing thing I have. No, wait. That is the second most scathing thing I've ever heard a human being say about another human being. Like,
yeah.
Wow. Oh, I've never seen be good in I would like that quote. I would like somebody to print a sheet of stickers. And then when Suicide Squad comes out on DVD, I would like to disseminate these stickers.
Go to the Walmart.
And you put like, I have never seen whatever this dude's name is be good in a piece of art.
Oh, okay.
And then also it's attributed to you. And also then we put a Dark Triad logo on that because this review brought to you by the Dark Triad.
Dark Triad.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't want to do a drive-by. I don't want to say something mean and move on. And I'm tempted to be like, but I will. But here's the thing. I did see Jai Courtney in the Wet Hot American Summer sequel show, and he's in it for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh, he's not bad here. But
again, that's damning with faint praise.
It is. But I've always said that Jai Courtney is the poor man's Sam Worthington. Who is Sam Worthington? I don't blame you for asking. He's not good either. He was in Avatar and he was in Terminator Salvation, which every Terminator after Terminator 2 is a comedy, and you cannot convince me otherwise. But Sam Worthington is the poor man's generic white guy. So you're like 2 degrees of badness away from generic white guy, and you get Jai Courtney. I will say, nothing good about him. Anyway, moving on to the next person.
I would like to, because somebody here in the chat said it. Actually, that's not true. I just want to tell this story. I'm not going to pretend you all asked for this. I'm going to tell you because I want it. I said this is
That's the subtitle of every stream.
Yep. This is for me, not you. The Pat Rothfuss story. That I did say that's the second worst thing I've ever heard somebody say about another human being. The first was I was messaging back and forth with Christopher Moore. Who
I love his books.
he
Yeah.
does such. He is dude is a champ. He's so cool. He's helped out world builders a lot in the past too. And also just like writes amazing stuff. And also like an incredibly kind guy who took the time to chat with me, you know, and but anyway, we were talking about someone who was proposing a project, and I will not go after this person briefly here. If I ever go after this person, I will mount a full assault on them, which they've richly deserved, but I'm not gonna waste my powder lightly here. But you know, I said, what do you think about this whole deal? And they laid it out real clear. And one of the things that happens in small industries is one of the rules typically is like never say anything bad about anyone because you don't know who's friends with who.
Are you friends with Jai Courtney?
No. Like you don't know who's friends
Nobody is. Sorry.
with. Jesus. Or you don't know where like and you know it sort of can. It can signal that you kind of don't know how to play the game and work nicely with everyone. But also it's attitudes like that means that like shitty people can stay in an industry or continue to function because nobody wants to be seen as a troublemaker. But anyway, you know, Chris, you know, gave me the lowdown and said, no, it was bad. This was bad. This was bad. And I'm like, wow, cool. Thank you so much for being on. I go, I promise, you know, I won't mention that you've said anything. I'll keep this in confidence. And he's like, oh no, you tell him exactly what I said. He goes, here, I'll give you a quote. And he's like, hey, so-and-so, I hope you burn to death and a cat shits in the ashes. And I'm like, and the thing is, this was in real time. And so like off the cuff, and this is one of the reasons that I love him as a writer, but he is not, you know, I a lot of times require many drafts to kind of get my phrasing perfect, but off the dome, Christopher Moore spun the most horrifying thing I've ever heard anyone say about anyone else. I hope you burn to death and a cat shits in the ashes. Is like, you cannot, I cannot think of any way to improve that.
There's malice.
That's
malice.
Oh, it's malice, and this is the desire, you know, it's comparable to in Archer, when Burt Reynolds showed up and he goes, if you do that, you're going to wish that you woke up in hell with a broken back. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so intimidating. He's like, if you do that again, you're going to wish that you were in hell with a broken back. And I'm like, I would turn around and go home if anybody brought that to like a stare down. Anyway, so yeah.
I specifically remember coming out of a show I did in Pittsburgh called Jack and Rochelle, a true Holocaust love story, which that's a whole nother thing. The director actually said, you're like Han Solo, but in a concentration camp. And I was like, that's not direction. We got a bad review because it was a bad show. And the secondary lead, after we exited the theater, heard somebody say like, "Boy, that was a real shitty show," and he just looked at him and said, "Swallow a knife." I've never heard anyone so quickly just be like, snap decision, swallow a knife, and then just walk down the other side of the sidewalk. It's amazing. Amazing.
Wow. Also, I got a call out in the chat here. First off, hi Tristan, it's good to see you. But
Tristan Helping Hands?
Yeah, she's here.
Hey, welcome.
I saw the comment that more is a delight on panels too. Oh, I don't doubt for a sec that he is. Although I don't think I've been on a panel with him. Excuse me, or watched a panel with him on it, but I would have bet money on that. But what I want to call out here is that the username Molifant is good. I want to say good username. It's actually Molifant, and I'm assuming. Hold on, wait.
Where are we going?
Hey everybody! Like maybe I just had a little micro stroke or something. I was like, no, wait, Mola is from my books. And I thought that it was a reference to somebody in my book. And then I went looking for what Mola attached to. I'm like, no, Devi, fella, no, there's no Mola. Wait, no, there is a Mola. I have to ask Molifant. I assumed initially that was like somebody who's like, oh, I'll go watch Pat on Twitch. I'll make a weird name sort of referencing one of his characters. But Mola is an interesting one to reference. Fellow would be one thing.
The fish, not the character.
Mola. Okay, good. Thank you. Just wanted to know.
Mola fish. I don't know what a Mola. I'm terrified of the sea, so I don't look at. Oh, this thing's terrifying. A sunfish or Mola. This thing could ruin my whole career. This thing's terrifying.
Cool.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, cool. So let's finish this out. Is somebody keeping count? Like, because I feel like I'm doing good, and I need affirmation. Is really what I'm saying here.
I'm keeping a weird. Yeah, okay. I got what you need.
Okay.
Lady Dimitrescu.
Yes.
No, Lady Dimitrescu is one of the most advertised villains from Resident Evil Village. yeah, Lady D. And last but not least, Dr. Psycho.
Yes.
Dr. Psycho, while appearing with Harley Quinn in several different stories, is not actually an official member of the Suicide Squad. But I like that one. So yeah, you did not get it.
Okay. So
all right, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, you got 9 right. You got 1, 2, 3. You got 9 wrong. Congratulations, Pat. You're straight down the middle.
I started off so strong. I shouldn't have started second guessing myself. Okay. But I certainly could have done worse there.
You did get a point for style.
I did get a point for style. Okay. Okay.
And now how many points are you awarding me, Pat?
That is, this is a very monster style, like what is your grade on this game you have created?
My pay is influenced by this score.
Yep. I am giving you 8.5 batarangs. Period. Full stop. But yeah, so and this again reveals the problem with different assessment rubrics when they're is that a Twix?
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
think
good for you for identifying a Twix. That was very, very good.
So I think we've done good work here. We played a game. We
Yep.
talked about art. We shared some very good insults. And I think as our reward, we get to do like kind of our job on the stream, which is to play this game. Isn't it weird that as people who really want to play this game, we don't get to it very much?
No, that's being in your 30s is what I
Is
understand.
that what it is? It feels like it should be like something in the DSM 5,
DSM,
which is I'm sorry, BTDSM 5. It's
which is published by the BBC.
yes.
The BTSBM 5 by the BBC. And I got a chance to see the behind the scenes, the BTS, the BDSM 5 at the BBC. Oh no, I've lost it.
I lost the thread.
Oh, I've gone cross-eyed.